Good evening. You're tuned in to EmoNews.
Every moment online. In the headlines,
Dominica's calypso monarch eyes regional crown.
and Squannery Tourism Association Inc. (AKTA) receives grant to boost ecosystem restoration in Cassibruce.
Ministry of Agriculture and Health bring cheer to the north.
OECS strengthens regional innovation ties at Caribbean Innovation Days 2025.
West Indies name squad for ICC Men's Under-19 Cricket World Cup 2026.
Travel ban could bar Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire fans from 2026 World Cup.
And US strike on alleged drug boat kills 4 in Eastern Pacific.
These and more stories coming up this evening.
Blast Gaming presents its biggest job whatever. Blast Mystery Progressive. I'm so excited. I can't hide it. In you blast up and rising. And I like it. It going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up and up and up and up.
Play selected games to win in the Blast Mystery Progressive. Pick until you match 3 gems and win one of the 5 cash jackpots. Or you can blast up with the Mystery Progressive
It
jackpot.
going up and up and up and up and up. Blast up and up and up. Blast Gaming.
And welcome back, everyone. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis. And with us tonight is no other than...
Michael Pierre.
All right. How are you doing tonight, Mr. Pierre?
I'm great. I'm happy to be in the studios of EmoNews.
All right. It's good to have you.
Yes, and tonight we will bring you the broadcast for Thursday, the 18th of December, 2025.
All right, Mr. Pierre, let's do this.
First off, in news from the nation, the Squannery Tourism Association Inc., the AKTA, has received a grant from the Dominica National Conservation Trust Fund, DNCTF, to implement a new community-based project building capacity for ecosystem restoration in the Cassibruce district. Funding is supported by the Caribbean Biodiversity Fund, CUSO International, and the Government of Canada. The 10-month initiative aims to strengthen biodiversity conservation, build climate resilience, and improve livelihoods for farmers, women, youth, and students across the Cassibruce district. Activities are expected to begin in the coming weeks. The project will focus on training community members in plant propagation and nursery management, producing a guide on native and bee-friendly plants, establishing 3 small-scale nurseries, and carrying out a community-led tree planting program with ongoing mentorship. Expected outcomes include increased availability for native plants, improved habitats for pollinators, enhanced land restoration, and new livelihood opportunities in agroforestry and nursery management. AKTA will partner with the Ministry of Agriculture, the Forestry, Wildlife and Parks Division, the National Beekeepers Cooperative Society Limited, and the Cassibruce Secondary School to implement the project. The United Progressive Party, the UPP, has congratulated Dr. Thomson Fontaine on his re-election as leader of the United Workers' Party, the UWP. In a statement, the UPP said that Dr. Fontaine's re-election reflects the confidence placed in his leadership and vision for Dominica. UPP leader Joshua Francis wished him wisdom, strength, and discernment as he continues to lead the party through upcoming challenges and opportunities. The UPP noted the importance of constructive engagement among political parties, emphasizing that while differences may exist, there is a shared commitment to national development and the well-being of all Dominicans. The party also expressed its willingness to collaborate with Dr. Fontaine and the United Workers' Party on matters of national interest in the spirit of strengthening democracy and unity. The UPP concluded by wishing Dr. Fontaine a tenure marked by progress, unity, and service to the nation.
Also in local news this evening, Dominica's 2025 Calypso monarch, Joy Stout, known on stage as Joy, is set to represent the island at the Queen of Queens Regional Female Calypso competition in Montserrat on Tuesday, December 30, as part of Montserrat's 2025 Carnival celebrations. Hosted by the Montserrat Arts Council, the competition brings together top female calypsonians from across the Caribbean to showcase lyrical strength, musicality, rendition, and stage presence. Each contestant will perform 2 original calypso selections. Joy will compete with My Quest for Love and The Ground We Walking On, the songs that earned her Dominica's national crown earlier this year. Representing Dominica on a regional stage is both an honor and a responsibility, Joy said, noting the importance of regional exposure for preserving and strengthening calypso across the Caribbean. Dominica has maintained a strong presence at the Queen of Queens competition, with Shanice Langford, also known as Shanice, representing the island in 2024, and Tasha, also known as Tasha P. Peltier, placing first runner-up in 2022. With confidence and determination, Joy is aiming to deliver a performance that could secure Dominica's first Queen of Queens title. And finally, in local news this evening, the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Agriculture has once again donated food items to local organizations. Presentations were made to the New Age residential home in Glenvilla, Portsmouth, the Reginald Fitzgerald Armour Hospital, and the Home for the Aged at Grange, Portsmouth. Remarks were given by the Minister of Agriculture, who praised the initiative.
Yeah, so the Minister's Food Basket is an initiative that started over 40 years, and we've been doing that annually. The main objective of that is to bring fresh food, nutritious food to persons at the different homes on the island and at the hospital. This initiative is fully supported and sponsored fully by the farmers. They do the harvest, and every year, I must say, they look forward to that, and the ministry consolidates throughout all the agricultural region the produce that we receive, and we are going to every institution during that time of the year to bring fresh food and then ensure that they have good nutrition over the Christmas season.
And that concludes our local news. Regional developments coming up next.
We're at the different phases in life. We move at a different pace. All we need is to be supported. Cause when the baby's coming, business needs revamping, the new job starting, and you need an outfit. Let Momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up. The wedding's planning, rent due dates coming. Momentum is your support financing. Let Momentum hook you up. Momentum will hook you up.
And now for regional news. With the global cruise industry set to reach a record 36 million passengers in 2025, destinations are stepping up efforts to stay competitive through strategic training partnerships. The Aquila Center for Cruise Excellence is leading a national training initiative in the Dominican Republic, spanning 5 ports and bringing together cruise lines, local authorities, tour operators, and frontline staff to improve service consistency and visitor satisfaction. Aquila says its partnership-focused model has already boosted guest satisfaction across the Caribbean, delivering measurable gains in destinations like Puerto Rico, Aruba, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, proving that collaboration, not just infrastructure, gives destination a competitive edge. The Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, OECS, has strengthened regional and international innovation partnerships following its participation in Caribbean Innovation Days, also known as SEEDS 2025, held in Guadeloupe from December 1 to 4. The OECS delegation, led by Ambassador for Science and Technology, Dr. Ricardo R. Neal, joined more than 300 innovators, investors, and policymakers from the Caribbean, Europe, Africa, and the Americas. 3 OECS innovation-driven firms, Medical Health, the Local App, and Optronics also took part, with Dr. Neal recognized among the event's featured speakers. Discussions focused on artificial intelligence, investment, territorial innovation, and cross-regional collaboration. The OECS used the forum to advance its OECS Innovation Support Program, aimed at positioning the Eastern Caribbean as a micro-hub for digital, green, and creative innovation. Key outcomes included new partnerships for remote work recruitment, support for agri-tech startups, access to international investor networks, and expanded opportunities for Caribbean creatives. The OECS has also expressed interest in hosting Caribbean Innovation Days 2026 in an Anglophone OECS member state.
And finally, news from the region. Tourism officials from Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines have joined the OECS Commission at the 64th Antigua Charter Yacht Show to promote the Southern Caribbean as a unified yachting hub. Through the UBEC project, the partnership highlighted seamless multi-island itineraries on crowded cruising grounds and new opportunities for mega yachts seeking alternatives to the busy Northern Caribbean. Officials say regional collaboration boosts global visibility, strengthens maritime tourism, and supports jobs, small businesses, and sustainable growth, positioning yachting as a key pillar of the Caribbean's blue economy. And that's a wrap on our regional news. International highlights to follow.
And now for international news this evening. U.S. strike on alleged drug boat kills 4 in Eastern Pacific. On December 17, 2025, the U.S. military says 4 people were killed in a strike on an alleged drug trafficking vessel in the Eastern Pacific on Wednesday, marking the latest in a series of operations targeting suspected narco traffickers in the region. U.S. Southern Command said the strike was ordered by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth after intelligence indicated the boat was traveling along a known trafficking route in international waters. The victims were described as 4 male narco-terrorists, though no evidence of drugs was released. The Pentagon says the U.S. has carried out 26 similar strikes since September, killing at least 99 people. The operations have drawn increased scrutiny following reports of a controversial September 2 double strike that killed 11 people. The strikes are part of the Trump administration's border pressure campaign against Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, whom the U.S. accuses of ties to drug trafficking, claims Venezuela denies.
And finally, from the international scene, South African immigration officials have raided a U.S. refugee processing center in Johannesburg, arresting 7 Kenyan nationals for working illegally. Authorities say that the workers entered the country on tourist visas and were not authorized to work. No U.S. officials were arrested. The center processes refugee applications for white South Africans under a U.S. program introduced during the Trump administration, a policy South Africa disputes, saying there is no persecution. The 7 Kenyans have been ordered deported and banned from South Africa for 5 years as diplomatic talks begins with the United States and Kenya. And that's it for international news. News from the sporting world coming up next.
And now for the sports segment. Cricket West Indies, CWI, has announced the 15-member West Indies Rising Stars Under-19 squad for the 2026 ICC Men's Under-19 Cricket World Cup to be held in Namibia and Zimbabwe from January 15 to February 6, 2026. Top order batter Joshua Dawn will captain the side, with all-rounder Jonathan Van Lang named vice-captain. Dawn and Joel Andrew returned for their second Under-19 World Cup appearances. The squad was selected following strong performances in regional competitions and recent Youth Series wins against England 5-2 and Sri Lanka 4-3. 16-year-old Shama Apple and Michael McKenzie are among the younger players earning World Cup selection. West Indies are drawn in Group D alongside South Africa, Afghanistan and Tanzania, with all group matches scheduled for Windhoek, Namibia. Warm-up games will be played against Ireland and Japan ahead of the tournament. CWI officials say the squad reflects a balanced mix of experience and emerging talent, with a focus on long-term development and competitiveness at the international level. The squad: Joshua Dawn as captain, Jonathan Van Lange vice president, Joel Andrew, Shama Apple, Shaquan Bell, Zachary Carter, Tanez Francis, R.J. Gittens, Vital Laws, Michael McKenzie, Matthew Miller, Israel Morton, Jakim Pollard, Aidan Racha, and Kunal Tilokani. Fans from Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire may be unable to attend the 2026 FIFA World Cup after the Trump administration imposed partial travel restrictions on both countries. According to the White House, the measures are linked to high tourist visa overstay rates and concerns over document reliability and corruption. Senegal recorded a 4% overstay rate, while Cote d'Ivoire stood at 13%. Haiti and Iran, also World Cup participants, face stricter restrictions. The proclamation makes clear that players, team officials, and essential support staff traveling for major sporting events, including the World Cup, will be exempt. The updated travel rules affect more than 20 countries, with full restrictions imposed on several, including Palestinians holding Palestinian Authority passports, Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, South Sudan, Syria, Laos, and Sierra Leone. Partial restrictions were also extended to countries such as Dominica, Antigua and Barbuda, Nigeria, Tanzania, Zambia, and Zimbabwe. The U.S. government said the restrictions will remain until countries show credible improvements in cooperation with U.S. immigration authorities. The 2026 World Cup, co-hosted by the United States, Canada, and Mexico, begins on June 11, 2026.
And finally, from the world of sports, At Storms on day 1 of the third and final test between New Zealand and the West Indies, New Zealand are firmly on top. After winning the toss and choosing to bat, the Black Caps closed the day on an imposing 334 for 1 in 90 overs. The story of the day was Devon Conway, who produced a superb unbeaten 178, anchoring the innings with patience and authority. He's been well supported at the crease by Jacob Duffy, who will resume on 9 not out. From the West Indies bowling attack, Kemmer Roach was the lone wicket taker, finishing the day with 1 for 63, while Jaden Seals endured a long day, going wicketless after bowling 21 overs. This is the third test of the series, with New Zealand already leading 1-0, and they'll look to build an even bigger total when play resumes. And that's all for sports. Stay tuned for the weather report from the Dominica Met Service.
And this brings us to the end of tonight's news broadcast for the 18th of December 2025. I'm your presenter, Rick Francis.
And I am Michael Pierre. On behalf of the entire newscast, we say thank you for viewing.
This has been
EmoNightly News, every moment online. Good night.